to shine through tonight as we get a look at a few fighters who would like to gain their independence emerging from their roles as solid prospects. The question is, can they crack into that newfound liberty and start calling themselves contenders? We welcome you to the Arts Palace here in Philly, home to this week's Friday Night Fights. Its venerable characteristics are actually new to boxing, but its sold-out setting is familiar to these well-schooled fight fans. Hard-nosed action, that's the expectation, not the exception. That's exactly what we're anticipating with our first fight. Spivey against Stewart, 10 rounds of junior welterweights. Dorin Spivey calls himself the Destroyer. The 29-year-old from Virginia has been active as a lightweight. Now he enters the ring as a junior welter, checking in at just 136 pounds. He comes into this fight with a 28-2 record, including 26 knockouts. Spivey never fought as an amateur. Among his last 5 fights, an impressive win right here in Philly. It came against former lightweight title contender Billy Irwin. His opponent is the hometown fighter Michael No Joke Stewart. At 5'8", he's 3 inches taller than Spivey. No Joke Stewart's record, 28-0-2. We will find out tonight whether or not that mark is truly no joke. His last 5 fights are clean wipeouts, 5 wins, 5 knockouts. Not one of those lasted past the 6th round. As Dorin Spivey is sure to find out, Michael Stewart is an interesting character, to say the least. What is his motivation for tonight? Sit back and laugh.
I mean, I live a good, decent life. I don't drink. I don't do anything, you know. I mean, you know, I'm not going to get to take my wife out tonight for Valentine's Day, and Spivey's really going to have to pay for that because, you know, when she's mad, then, you know, everybody seems mad.
Okay, our referee for Spivey versus Stewart is Double S Stevie Smoker, and we are using the unified rules. There's no 3 knockdown. There is no standing 8. Only the referee can stop the fight. A fighter can't be saved by the bell in any round. And in the case of an accidental foul, we will go to the scorecards after 4 rounds are complete. Mike Stewart, quite the character, Teddy, and we got some good records on the line here in Philly tonight.
We have good styles in front of us here tonight, too. And that's what makes good fights. Let's hope it comes true. Spivey likes to throw a lot of punches, and Stewart is not shy.
No Joke Stewart has quite a following here in Philadelphia. He lives nearby in Delaware, where he works full-time in construction. He makes a 45-minute drive into Philly each day to train for 2.5 hours. And when he came down to the ring here in the Arts Palace on Broad Street, the chant of no joke went up real quick.
Spivey, a very game guy that has a high punch ratio per round. Stewart will hope that he's a little bigger, a little stronger, and maybe a little better technically. We will find out. I think this promises to be a good one, Joe.
And already, we're seeing some blood out of No Joke. You got tagged on the nose there.
Stewart likes to go to the body. If he is the bigger, stronger guy, he better go there. Slow down, Spivey. Knock those punch numbers down a little bit. One way to make a guy throw less is to bang him underneath. Spivey has been in with a lot of soft opposition. He's stepped up 3 times in his career. He's lost 2 of them. 27 of Spivey's 30 fights have been in his home state of Virginia. Both his losses came when he went outside of that home state. But that doesn't take away the style and the fact that Spivey is a busy guy. Game guy.
Teddy has an aggressive style, does Dorin Spivey. He says that he's tried to fine-tune it through the years and be more of a boxer and less of a guy that's just charging on the inside and fighting on the inside.
One thing he has to be aware of that just happened a couple of seconds ago is when Spivey throws a jab, he must not lay it out there, must not pose. He will get hit with a counter right hand by Stewart.
And Stewart gets in a couple of lefts. against the ropes against Dorin Spivey.
Because Spivey is a busy man. This is the kind of fight that is going to be very important for the judges. It's always important for the judges to look very closely at what's actually landing and who's landing the harder punches, the cleaner punches.
Good first round from the Arts Palace here in Philly. You got a good look at City Hall there on Broad Street, and I am happy to be broadcasting next to a man who was recently heavily complimented. The Samuel Taub Award handed out. The Boxing Writers Association of America says, Teddy Atlas, excellence in broadcasting. You are the man. Congratulations, partner.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
What do you make of this place, the Arts Palace here? Obviously, the Blue Horizon, a favor here in Philly. That needs some work, so we're over here at the Arts Palace. Good atmosphere?
Yeah. I don't like the clean paint, and, you know, he's too clean. I mean, they just put a fresh coat of paint up here. Blue Horizon, dirty, paint falling down, atmosphere, you know, people right on top of you. But no, this is a nice venue, no doubt about it. It's a boxing-friendly venue. The fans are right on top of you. It's nice.
And smart fans, Ted.
The same fans, they came over, they transferred. Russell Peltz, the terrific promoter, brought them over from the Blue Horizon. You're right, they are smart fans.
Teddy, you talked about it. Dorin Spivey, a high punch ratio per round. You said it in round number 1, and sure enough, he threw 78 jabs in that first round against Michael Stewart.
Oh, he's a busy bee. He wins the fight, he's going to win it on punch numbers. Stewart wins the fight, he's going to win it on harder, cleaner punches. Spivey's going to look to out-hustle you, out-busy you. I believe Stewart is going to have to land telling punches, body punches, slow down Spivey.
And now Spivey comes in countering after Stewart came in lunging wide with a left.
Stewart needs to go to that body. Slow down. Maybe the smaller. Maybe quicker and busier Spivey. Spivey needs to keep Stewart off balance a little, Joe. Not allow Stewart to get set. Stewart looks like a guy who needs to be set on his feet to be effective. Spivey might want to throw a couple angles in.
Spivey's camp said that they feel a little more confident in coming in with angles and not being a heads-up, straight-ahead style. Something they've been working on.
Well, it shows. Sean Hunter, Kendall Davies, Susan Beavers. They've been doing a good job with Spivey. I've seen him before. His technique has improved. This is where Stewart, who's going to take control of this fight, must shine, must find ways to punch, not get outworked like he just did.
Spivey working well off the ropes, landing a few, and now Stewart's trying to dig in and get him against the ropes again.
The inside territory must belong to Stewart. Again, the man who depends on being stronger. He has to be able to claim the inside. Stewart looks like he's going to be tested here tonight.
Through 2 rounds from the Arts Palace in Philly.
Okay, let's say cheese. Big smile. Excellent. Next we have Patty.
That's me.
Okay. You know, we're back again on Monday.
Welcome back to Philadelphia. The local favorite is Michael No Joke Stewart in the orange and white stripes. And so far, Dorin Spivey has kept up a very busy pace to control the action through 2 rounds.
Spivey not a big puncher, but as we said, very busy. and not a big puncher despite those 26 knockouts and 28 wins. As we said, he's had a lot of soft opposition in his home state. That's one way you can build up a lot of knockouts.
Michael Stewart, through 2 rounds, has thrown 101 punches. That doesn't seem right, does it? We are in round 3 here in the Arts Palace of Philadelphia. Dorin the Destroyer Spivey. He was here in Philadelphia recently. He came up with a win against Billy Irwin. Says that was a big moment for him. He loved the crowd, loved the atmosphere, beating somewhat of a name opponent, but Billy Irwin didn't have much that night.
No, Billy Irwin did not pull the trigger that night. Looked like a man who did not want to be in the ring. Looked like a statue. Very much like he did in his title fight against Spivey.
That was a nice left hand by Mike Stewart in the middle of the ring, and it backs Spivey up against the ropes, Teddy.
Stewart needs to use that jab to keep Spivey from pot-shotting. Keep Spivey in his place a little bit as he pursues him. Now this is where Stewart must work. He must not be outworked by the smaller Spivey on the inside. Stewart must own the inside, must bang that body. He's not owning it right now.
And it's Dorin Spivey who's pushing Michael Stewart back with repetition of shots.
There's an old saying, the old-time trainers would say it all the time. I used to listen to them. When you get inside, you better work, otherwise the other guy will.
And a nice combination by Dorin Spivey. That left rocked the head of No Joke Stewart.
Stewart gets inside. He's waiting too long to work. And Spivey is not giving him a second chance to rethink it.
Another good left by Spivey.
And Spivey adjusts a little bit. He can fight inside with you. He uses his legs, goes outside, and walks Stewart into traps once in a while.
So far, a very busy pace by Dorin Spivey.
What's the sense of being a bigger, stronger man when you get inside, as Stewart is, if you allow the smaller man, Spivey, to outwork you and escape? That's exactly what Spivey did there.
Michael Stewart and Dorin Spivey, 10 rounds of junior welterweights, and Dorin Spivey has had a very busy evening early on here. He has thrown 162 jabs through 3 rounds. He has landed 50 of them.
I talk often about who has the ability to show different dimensions. Can have a big edge in a fight, especially a tight fight. Spivey shows different dimensions. He can fight with you inside. He can get outside, use his legs a little bit. He's shown the ability in spots to step out and walk Stewart into traps.
Teddy, Mike Stewart maybe have a tendency to lean in a little bit sometimes and be open to an uppercut there.
That's the punch when you lean forward, no doubt about it. What it's going to take to hit Stewart with an uppercut, which you just pointed out, and that's very true. Spivey must throw a couple throwaway punches up top, then finish with the uppercut. Because while Stewart's trying to get away from the top shots, he will lean forward.
John Hunter, the trainer for Dorin Spivey down in Portsmouth, Virginia, has done an outstanding job. He says, you know, he's never worked with a nicer guy than Dorin Spivey, and they like what Dorin Spivey has become. They feel early on in their career they didn't show moments like this with the great boxer-puncher attitude. He was coming inside and banging, and now, as you can see, they have completed things. He's a much more complete, well-rounded fighter, as he's showing here in the 4th round against Mike Stewart.
This is where Spivey must try to stay away from laying on the ropes, and this is where Stewart must do more. He's smothering himself right now, Spivey. I mean, Stewart. And that's exactly what Spivey wants. Spivey wants to negate Stewart on the inside. That should be Stewart's strength. Right now, Stewart has not taken advantage of being on the inside, being a bigger man. Look how Stewart's smothering himself. There he goes. Got to give himself a little room so he can do some damage. And Stewart's waiting a little too long on the inside, getting out-hustled. Joe, you know what Stewart's doing on the inside? He's waiting for the perfect spot, the perfect shot too much, instead of letting his hands go and creating the openings. You can't do that with a busy little guy like Spivey.
And when Spivey takes it back to the middle of the ring, things tend to go his way. More from Philly coming up. Welcome back. Round number 5 from the Arts Palace in Philadelphia. Dorin Spivey has looked good against the hometown kid, Mike No Joke Stewart. Stewart does not have a loss on his record, 28-0-2. Teddy, you questioned some of the opposition he faced in that run of 30 fights. So far, it's come to fruition.
Well, both guys have been in there with their share of soft opposition. But both guys letting it go tonight. Both guys testing each other in different areas. That's why it's a good fight.
Dorin Spivey trying to work his way off the ropes. Through 4 rounds, Spivey has thrown 218 jabs. He has landed 74, a 34% clip. Now, you said earlier it's Mike Stewart that needs to be the guy jabbing and going to the body to try to slow down Spivey. He hasn't done his job at all so far.
2 parts to that. The jab is to keep Spivey from picking his spots, from being an annoying little gnat where he punches every time you come forward. The jab will keep him negated, keep him in his place. Then, when you have him where Stewart had him just there, you need to bang the body. Stewart did not do enough work just then.
Teddy's scorecard through 4 rounds, 39-37. Dorin Spivey getting very busy in rounds 2, 3, and 4.
This could be, once again, a controversial decision. I could see judges having trouble with the subject nature of this business, having trouble judging these rounds. One guy real busy, another guy, when he does throw, a little harder.
We mentioned Mike Stewart lives in nearby Delaware. He works in construction there, loves his job, does it full time, comes over here to Philly to train. Says he has 100 of his co-workers in attendance tonight. And of course, he's been a part of the Philly fight scene for some time, so obviously home edge goes to the man in the orange and white stripes.
Well, the man in the orange and white is smothering himself a little too much on the inside. Not getting off, waiting, looking for the perfect spot sometimes. He might get it, but if he doesn't get it, he's allowing Spivey not only to survive in those spots, but to score. No doubt, though, Stewart has the same thing we had in mind from the beginning. Bang the body. What seems to be the smaller Spivey. Spivey trying to catch Stewart coming in. So Spivey can do that. That's where he has different dimensions. He can step back, create room to punch.
Dorin Spivey looking for room. Michael Stewart looking for an answer in Philly. What an atmosphere here at the Arts Palace in Philadelphia. Beautiful balcony. It's as if you're hanging right over the ring, and these hardcore boxing fans here in Philly just love good action fights. Dorin Spivey and Mike Stewart into the 6th round, scheduled for 10 between these junior welters. Mike No Joke Stewart, 28-0-2. He's the guy that, Teddy, you've been calling out, looking to land the good power shots and wait for the good power shots. But in terms of who's connected to power shots through 5 rounds, well, Dorin Spivey's been the man doing the damage. 105 out of 260, and you see the percentage of landed there in round number 5, once again in Dorin Spivey's favor.
Well, that's Spivey's MO. That's how he wins fights. He's busy. In the corner, in between rounds, we were listening in a little bit. The trainer, who's done a good job with Stewart, the trainer for Mike Stewart, Leon Tabbs, was imploring his charge to do more work on the inside. You're hurting him to the body, that's the game plan, but then you're letting yourself get tied up. Pull those hands out, don't put them behind him. I agree with Tabbs.
Leon Tabbs, a veteran Philly trainer, and Mike Stewart's the first to admit that he has a very unique relationship with Tabbs. He says that at times he doesn't do what Leon necessarily tells him to. He says, hey, he's 70 years old. He wants to take the slow and steady road to the top. I'm the young guy with time on my hands. I want to get in right there with the best at 140 pounds. But you know what? Listen to the old man.
You better. You want to get there. Whether you get there or not. You want an opportunity to get there.
Mike Stewart with a big swinging left that does absolutely nothing but grab air in the center of the ring.
The only thing Spivey might be doing wrong is standing in front of Stewart a little bit too much. That smaller frame, that smaller body is exposed when he stands in front of Stewart. When Spivey moves his hands and keeps Stewart pretty busy.
And Stewart just caught him with an overhand right. And now Spivey works back off the ropes.
Spivey needs to give angles, punch and step around Stewart. Again, Stewart needs to be set to punch. If Spivey steps around Stewart, he will keep Stewart from being effective. Again, Spivey has more options in the arsenal. He can step back, do some countering.
Michael Stewart will have 4 rounds left to make the locals happy.
Thank you for calling Altamira. This is Eric. How can I help you?
Hi, is there anyone there who can help me sort through my RSP options?
Sure. I'm an experienced advisor myself. What are you thinking about?
We'd like our investments to grow, but we don't want a lot of risk.
No worries. We've got a full range of investment solutions. We can find the right balance for you.
Sounds good. How do I get more info?
Well, I can...
Welcome back to Friday Night Fights. Joe Tessitore alongside Teddy Atlas. We're here in the Arts Palace in Philadelphia. Dorin Spivey and Mike Stewart. Scheduled for 10 rounds. We are in round number 7. Early on, it was Dorin Spivey who set a very quick pace. Since then, he has slowed just a little bit. In fact, 91 punches in the 6th round were Spivey's lowest output of the fight. Meantime, Michael Stewart picked up his pace a little bit, and Teddy did something that you talked about earlier, made a little bit better range. The smothering factor wasn't there.
Well, just then, just about 5 seconds ago, Stewart landed a good right hand because he had distance and he was able to throw it over the jab, the lazy jab of Spivey. That is therefore one of the flaws Spivey has. He's such a game guy. He's such a punching machine. That's his style. That sometimes he'll be punching, but he'll be stationary. You can time shots while he's throwing.
Things have tightened up here at the Arts Palace as Mike Stewart has come on. You have it 57-57 through 6 rounds, Teddy.
Stewart needs to just move his hands when he's in close. Not wait for the perfect spot or the perfect shot. I've been talking about Stewart being the bigger, stronger guy. Let me give you some numbers why I think he's bigger and stronger. Been a junior welterweight, and even a little over his whole career. Spivey has been a little bit smaller. And in fact, he's been at the lightweight limit several times. He's been as low as 128 pounds. In fact, if you go back his last 4 fights, 3 of them have been below the lightweight limit.
And tonight, in a junior welterweight clash, he had 4 pounds to give. He came in at 136. So obviously Stewart, the bigger, stronger man, and we've seen numerous times that as fights get into deeper water, many times the guy with the more natural strength and power tends to wear down the opponent.
Yeah, Stewart came in at 138 tonight. Again, Spivey, a little bit more options. He can step back and punch. Stewart cannot do that. Has not shown that yet. Doesn't want to do that, though, in this fight. The only thing, the only little kink in the arsenal of Spivey is he stands in front a little too much. If he would use those legs and go around Stewart court, he would improve his effectiveness maybe 60%.
Another good left hand by Dorin Spivey.
Again, Stewart not taking advantage on the inside, allowing himself to be tied up.
Things tightening up in Philly.
I've been talking about Spivey standing straight in front of Stewart. Well, he went straight back with his left hand down and got hit a straight right hand.
Dorin Spivey and Mike No Joke Stewart into round number 8 from the Arts Palace. Spivey set a blistering pace early. Stewart came on in the middle rounds. And Teddy's scorecard through 7 rounds. 67-66. He gave the last round to Dorin Spivey.
In spots, Spivey is able to control the tempo. The pace, when he uses those legs a little bit, gets off those punches, a little bit of movement, leaves Stewart standing there, leaves Stewart missing.
Well, movement and missing is something that was a prominent resource from his area of Virginia at one point. He comes from the same area as Pernell Whitaker, and he has sparred with Sweet Peas in the past. He says he really admires what he could do in the ring and was awed by his raw talent when he was in there with him. Not to even come close to make a comparison, but he could use a little Sweet Pea in him at some points in the later stages of this fight.
There's only one Sweet Pea, Pernell Whitaker, one of the greatest lightweights of all time. Right up there with Benny Leonard, Roberto Duran. All those great lightweights. Again, Stewart being out-hustled, out-worked right now. And Spivey showing little dimensions here that Stewart doesn't have. The ability to step out, step in, use the legs. Counterpunch like that, right there.
Nice counter right by Spivey.
Yeah, Spivey can mix it up a little bit. Stewart does it when you're standing in front of him. Spivey can step out, walk you into punches. Spivey has a lot left, Joe, at the end, and is able to make a run to that finish line. Stewart will be very upset at himself that he didn't bang that body enough throughout the fight, and especially early. Because when you don't bang the body when you're supposed to on a smaller man, and you let that smaller man have a lot in the tank, you might have regrets. You want to take it out of the tank, bang him in the body early.
Stewart trying to work to the body, but Spivey doing a good job of getting himself off those ropes and bringing the fight back to the bigger real estate where he wants it.
See, right there, Spivey did what he wanted. He scored, then he tied up. Stewart must not allow him to tie him up.
And they're closing it out with a flurry.
Who's that? Staz's new boss.
We are back in Philadelphia. Joe Tessitore alongside Teddy Atlas. Dorin Spivey busy right from the get-go here in the 9th round against the local favorite, Mike No Joke Stewart. Stewart 28-0-2. He may have himself in a little bit of trouble, Teddy, because you talked about the fact that Dorin Spivey looks to have a lot left in him.
Yes, because he did not take punishment to that body as much as Stewart people would like him to have.
77-75 is Teddy's scorecard through 8. Mike Stewart looks to have a little bit of difficulty around his eyes, and that's a product of Spivey's jabs. He's kept up a blistering pace. And very active. He had thrown 389 through 7 rounds before slowing down a touch. But Dorin Spivey is going to work. Sticking and moving.
If you want to know